The Hunchback of Notre Dame is inherently not a happy story. No matter which version you pick up, you're sitting down for, at least in some way, watching mostly good people get tormented unfairly. Even in the version where Quasimodo and crew come out okay. And while God Help the Outcast may seem like an obvious pick for the saddest song in the show, it doesn't quite stand up against Someday. Someday does hit similar points as God Help the Outcast, kind of reflecting on how there are a lot of people getting the short end of the stick in life for really no reason and hoping that God can help them. Someday takes it a bit further though. There's still very much the shit sucks, please do something about it vibe to it, but there's also an end-of-life reflection of it. In the musical, the song comes before Phoebus and Esmeralda are set to be executed. And during it, Esmeralda thinks about the hope she once had that she would live long enough to see the oppressed freed and the oppressors have to answer for their crimes. But now, standing hours away from being burned alive for simply existing, she calls herself naive to have even hoped that such a day would come while she still lived. And yet still, she hopes that one day, someday, if people could just learn from all that's going on right now that have led innocent people to be sentenced to death, someday perhaps things could get better? Even though she doesn't have enough faith in people to trust it'll come soon, she's still going with the hope that a day like that must come. I feel it's a sort of sadder play on the today sucks but tomorrow will be better theme that a lot of stories have. A lot of things with that sort of story structure try to end on an uplifting note, basically saying that, well, if we just try hard enough, then the good things that we want in the world will just come of it. But here, Phoebus and Esmeralda recognize that they can't be the change that they want to see in the world, and not for lack of trying. Phoebus has been branded a traitor and lost his position for refusing to burn an innocent house. And Esmeralda, she's been branded a witch and a seductress for basically existing. It's a recognition that they don't have the ability to create the world that they desire. And so they plead that someday, let the stars align and the people with the agency to do so, please, let the day of justice dawn. It's really heartbreaking to hear Esmeralda and Phoebus say Godspeed this bright millennium. On the one hand saying best wishes to you, Day of Utopia, but also wistfully stating that I won't be there to join you, but I still hope the best. This especially strikes me because, well, we're here around 500 years after the story takes place, and is the world better? In some ways, yes, but in a lot of ways, no. There are still people being mistreated because they simply exist and aren't exactly like the ruling force. And there are people who are still being punished for doing good. It's one of those songs that makes you reflect on the world now and ask, did that someday come yet? And then it also makes you think about, well, am I doing all that I can to make the world a better place? Which then leads you to recall that there's only so much that one person can do, and there are times where you simply don't have the power to make the world better. It's also kind of one of those songs that, at least for a cynical mind, makes you wonder, well, will people grow to eliminate things like need, hunger, or the desire to put someone down just cuz? If we were able to develop such technology, will we use it for that purpose? Essentially, it calls to mind a lot of complicated and rather uncomfortable questions, things that we'd rather not think about in our day-to-day lives. And perhaps you're watching this video and still thinking, well, God Help the Outcast is still sadder. But for me personally at least, as one who is often haunted by the injustice in the world, this one strikes closer to home. And as much as I believe that someday the world will grow into a utopian society, unlike Annie, sometimes you're not very sure that the sun will come out tomorrow. But hell, maybe it will. It's a cynical yet hopeful song that leads you at once to smile at the perceived bright future, but also shake your head at the state of the world now. Or at least that's what it does for me. Thank you very much for consuming this video, and bit of housekeeping, I will be at BronyCon in Baltimore this year. The convention runs from July 27th through the 29th, and while the vendor hall is open, I will be helping out at the Traveling Pony Museum booth, but I will be there all weekend, so feel free to stop by and say hi. And if you can't make it out to BronyCon, or if you just want to chat me up online, I do have a Twitter. You can find me at NotAVampyre, and I'm open to discussing a wide range of things. Musicals, Degrassi, Steven Universe, and like with YouTube comments, I will respond, just might take me a little while. Thank you very much for consuming this video, and until next time.